without further ado, there he is. Are you okay, Andre? I heard there was an accident or something. You all right?
Yeah, all good. When I left for fight week, it was like 115 degrees in Sac, and now I came back and it's been pouring rain for 2 days. So it's like the first rain in, we get like 7 months of summer. So it's been like the first big rain. And so people are driving crazy and there's
Ah.
accidents, but it's all good. I was just running a little bit behind. I didn't get in an accident,
Oh, okay.
thankfully.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, I was running behind because there's accidents and traffic and shit in Sac. People haven't seen rain for like 6 months, so they're driving like pretty reckless.
No, it's all good. By the way, when we saw you on Saturday, your hair wasn't like that. Am I crazy?
Nah, how you like my braids?
I like them. I like it. It's very crisscross of you. You look like old school.
I'm bringing it. Wiggity, wiggity, whack.
Yeah. What inspired this?
You know what inspired it? Max Griffin, UFC 70 pounder or 80 or 85, whatever. He's a big boy. But he had some real crispy braids. And my hair is finally long enough to braid, or was almost long enough to braid. And I asked him, I was just hanging out watching the guys, move around. I always try to get back to the gym Monday after fight. So stop by, give everybody a hug, watch the guys train. And I asked him, I was like, man, my hair is almost long enough to braid, maybe a couple weeks. Like, who braids your hair? I think it's time to finally do it. And he was like, oh, hit up my girl. Here's her number. Like, this is my braid girl. She's the best. And I was expecting, like I'll book something in a couple weeks, whatever. And she was like, oh, I'll get you in tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I was like, all right, well, I mean, take it as a sign. So I've actually never had the patience to grow my hair out long enough to braid it. So I just went for it. And you guys are they're little baby ones, but I'm rocking them.
Respect. How do we?
I got to today. I have an appointment to clean up the sides a little bit because it was spontaneous. I need to clean up the sides a little bit, and then we'll be good.
How do we feel? Congratulations on the win Saturday. Back on track, like I said. How do we feel about what we did out there? I know you were, you were upset about the split decision, but a W is a W, and it was pretty clear on my part. Are you happy with the performance? Are you happy with what you did? You feel good about it?
I'm happy with the win. I'm never happy with my performance. I don't think there's ever been a performance that I came home and was happy about. I have about 30 seconds in the cage where I get my hand raised and I hug my team, and I just get this. It's one of the only times in my life where I feel like I can just sigh and go, okay, everything is going to be all right. Like there's a 30-second window after the fight. You get your hand raised, they call your name, and you get to hug your team and you get to hug your coaches, and you just have 30 seconds where you just go, everything's going to be all right. Every fucking thing's going to be all right. And I had that feeling, and it was beautiful. And I'm thankful that I got to experience it. But immediately after that, my thought is, how did I not finish that choke? Why did I not finish him with the head kick? Here's what we need to work Monday, or here's what we need to work when we're back on the mats. I'm not a huge fan of myself, and this sport is always demanding you to be better. And so that's part of the beauty of it, and it's part of the curse of it. So, I'm very happy with the win. I'm very happy with some of the things I did. I thought I cut some great angles. I've been working on my grappling a lot. I was able to show that control. I had fun in there. There's a lot of things that I'm thankful for and that I'm happy with. But in general, no, I just want to go back and fix things. I want to go back and the next time I take someone down, which will be my next fight, I'll take their back again and I'll finish that choke. The next time I land a head kick, it'll be on their chin, not their forehead. There's these tiny details that separate good fighters from great fighters, and I want to fix all of them.
And I have to correct myself. Earlier in the show, we had Damon Jackson on, and I said he beat Bill Algeo. He beat Pat Sabatini. You beat Bill Algeo, who is a really tough out. So just for the audience, because I screwed that up because I was thinking.
Sabatini's a tough out, too. That was a big win for
sure.
Jackson. Sabatini's fucking tough. So, and I don't know his story, but I just, from things I heard fight week, I heard he was going through quite a bit of stuff. I don't know the story, but I heard he was going through some shit. So, congrats to him that he pulled that win out, because Sabatini's no joke.
You mentioned in your previous answer, you're not a huge fan of yourself. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I talked about this a little bit fight week too, for anybody who saw my press conferences before the fight. They do a little press conference scrum fight week. this sport is full of people who really like are big fans of themselves, and that's cool. I'm not knocking anybody if that's your thing. That's cool, man. Good for you. You know, the media always asks me about my music, or like I have my own clothing brand, Outcast Underdogs, make t-shirts and stuff. That's my dog. If you can hear him in the back, he's not happy about it. He doesn't like anybody else getting the attention.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. He'll be okay. He's a crybaby, but we love him. They always ask me about music or the stand-up comedy that I did or this or that. And, whether I go back and watch this and my answer, same answer to you now, is that I'm not like, some super fan of myself. I make music and it's fun and I love it. And I make good music. I make music that you can put in a playlist with other stuff similar to it from full-time music recording artists, and it'll stand up on its own. It's not just good music for a fighter. Like when you put music on that I've made, I don't want it to be fucking corny. I don't want it to be something that people only listen to because I'm a fighter. I want it to be good music. Same when I did my stand-up routine. It was the first time I ever done stand-up, but I didn't want, like, they asked if I wanted help writing jokes or if I wanted to write jokes about MMA. Like, no, I don't want to do that. When I do stand-up, I want it to be funny on its own, like for its own sake. And so they asked me whether or not I put my own music on or go back and laugh at my own stand-up routine or go back and watch my own fights. And no, I don't. I'll go back and watch my fights 2, 3, maybe 5 times, however long the fight is and however many lessons there are to learn from the fight. And then I don't watch it again. Like I'm just not a guy that like is going to play his own music when you ride with him in the car or go back and watch my own stand-up comedy. I go back, I review the things I do to see how I can get better, and then I move on. Like I'm just not a guy who,
I get it,
is like a big fan of himself. There's a lot of people in the sport that are, and that's cool for them. They're real big fans of themselves. They like looking at themselves in the mirror. That's not my style, and I don't think it ever will be.
You said this in the post-fight press conference, which really jumped out at me. You said back in the day, fighting was as much about self-destruction than it was self-improvement. Has it flipped now?
Yeah, I think so.
And why did it flip?
I don't know, man. I think it's age and time and experience and lessons learned. When I was young, I was so angry and I was so self-destructive, and this was an outlet for me.
Why were you so angry?
How much time you got?
We got time.
I don't know. The way I grew up, man, the way I grew up and the way, when I was young, there's a few things. When I was young, I was angry because, the way I grew up, maybe some of the experiences I had when I was young, I don't even know if I was really conscious of these factors the way I am now. You gain self-awareness as you age and you grow. And I'm thankful for that. When I was young, I loved fighting because it was a place where I could completely let loose and express this anger and this aggression. And if you watch my fights when I'm young, I'm getting hit and I'm spitting blood and I'm talking shit and I'm egging them on to hit me more. And like, there was this place where I could just throw myself into the fire and people praised me for it. It didn't matter how violent or self-destructive you were. People loved you for it. And that was another motivating factor for me. Is I didn't feel a lot of love growing up, but nobody loves you the way they love you after you win a fight. You win a fight and it's thousands of strangers and they want to hug you and raise you up and tell you you're the man. And you get like that 30 seconds after you win a fight where you are the most adored person in the entire arena, in the entire room. It doesn't matter if it's a 30,000 person arena or a 3,000 person bingo hall at a native casino. You are the man. You are the star of the show and everybody loves you. And I think I was craving that as a kid. And I wanted these external validations, and now as a real adult, if I can call myself that, I'm at a place where I actually love myself and I actually find happiness in internal validations and meaningful relationships and good choices. And I've changed the way I talk to myself internally. I've changed my internal dialogue, and I've made all these adjustments where I don't crave that external validation anymore the way I used to. I want to win fights now for reasons that are healthier and more meaningful. So to answer your question on 2 parts, one, Well, I don't know. Maybe that answered your
Well,
question.
no, it did. I was just curious, did someone help you make that change, or did you just
I think a
figure
lot
it
of
out over
people,
time?
I think both. I think a lot of people have helped me. I think, my relationships have helped me, my friendships, my just the life lessons. You grow and you evolve and you figure some things out. Hopefully, some people don't, but I'd like to think that I'm a pretty self-aware, pretty analytical person. So I'm always trying to check myself and keep myself in check. And right now, I'm at a place where I think about the person who I want to be, and the person that the example that I want to set for my nieces and my nephews and my younger teammates and my siblings, my everybody. I think about the person I want to be, and I make the decisions that person would make. And I let my core values dictate my actions, and I'm in a better place than I've ever been. And I'm thankful for that. I still have plenty of flaws. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to preach. I still struggle with the same things everybody else struggles with. But I'm in a better place, and fighting is been a huge part of that for me. So I'm thankful for it.
You mentioned after the win, you opened up a little bit. You got emotional talking about, trying to have a
Yeah.
child, and you lost your child.
I
And
wish I wish I wouldn't have done that. So
well, so
I wish that I would.
I was just about to ask you at the post-fight press conference. You said that. You said you wish you didn't say that. Why do you
Yeah.
feel like you? Why do you regret saying that?
It was just something I held on to. I held on to it. I held on to that pain for months, and I used for weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, a month. So I held on to that pain for quite a while. I didn't share it with my mom didn't know, my siblings didn't know, my best friends didn't know. The only people who knew were my coaches in my corner, because I wanted us to be on the same page. Um, no one knew. And then everyone knew,
Hmm.
and it wasn't something that I didn't think that through. It was just in the moment. I wanted to dedicate that fight to them. And it was something that hurt me in a way that, sorry, let me say,
No problem.
yeah, I'm good. No, it was something that hurt me in a way that I held on to, and I used that as fuel. You can use these feelings of anger and hurt and pain and frustration. You can use these sadness. You can use these emotions, and they can either drag you down, or you can, if you know how to, you can use them as rocket fuel. And so it pushed me through this camp, this weight cut, this performance, and no one knew. I didn't share it with anyone really, except my coaches, even people who are very close to me. And then I just kind of just all came spilling out after the win. And, so that's not maybe an ideal way for my mom and my sisters and, you know, um, everybody to find out. I'm also not the only person involved in that.
Sure.
My partner, Melissa, who I love very much, it was also, wasn't easier on her. It's probably harder on her than it was on me. It was not even probably, of course it was harder on her than it was on me. So, I wish that I would have broke the news to my people differently, but it was just in that moment, and you only get certain moments, you only get one time, and it just poured out of me. I've been holding on to it for over a month, and I've been letting that pain build. And after I accomplished what I set out to accomplish, which was winning that fight, I just let go of it.
Just curious, last thing on this, was your partner okay with you saying it on TV? That's what I thought of initially, like, oh, maybe, as you said, she
Um,
probably suffered more, or she did something.
I'm sure she wasn't fucking stoked about it,
Right.
excited, but she understands.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And she understands that, we went through it together, and she understands how emotional fighting is. She's been through quite a few fights with me now, and she understands what a roller coaster it is, and especially that fight, especially this camp. Um, you have everything. You have a bloody fight with a tough guy. You hear a split decision, so then that re-racks your nerves. You get interviewed by DC. It's just everything is happening at once, and so she understands. I'm not. I don't think that's what. I don't think if you asked her if to make to. I don't think if it's like, would you prefer me to do this? That's probably not her vote.
Right.
But and so that's really the main reason that I wish I would have, maybe held it together a little longer, because of the way that, maybe it affected her or affected, my family or people close to me who didn't know about that, but probably, would have liked to find out in a different manner other than fucking national TV. But again, I don't have any regrets because that's part of how I processed the pain. I held on to it for a month. I held on to this pain that's deeper than almost anything I've almost deeper than almost anything I've felt. And sorry, held on to this pain that's deep, that hurt deep, and I held on to it and I used it as fuel. And when I accomplished that goal, I wanted to dedicate that fight to them, and so that's what I did.
One of the many reasons why I've always enjoyed speaking to you is because you let us in. You're not afraid. You look like a real tough guy, and you are a tough guy, but you let us into how you're really feeling, and I always appreciate that. And you also said on Saturday, this feels like the first time where you deserve to be happy, which is a pretty like deep thing to say. I would argue that you probably deserve to be happy a long time ago, but why do you feel like now you deserve to be happy?
Uh, Maybe I deserve to be happy before. What I was saying was, this is the first time I'm treating myself like a person I'm treating myself like a person who deserves to be happy. I'm treating myself for the first time in my entire life. Excuse me. Hope your audio team got that big sniffle.
Yeah, no,
how's that sound in
Frank,
4K? Does that sound all right, guys?
Frank, is that
Sounds
okay?
great, yeah.
Frank says that's
Producers,
great.
how's that?
Yep.
Some snot in my nose that you get every drip of that? Okay.
Frank said it was good.
Beautiful. Love that. Keep that. Don't edit that post. What were we talking about? Sad shit? No.
Deserving to be happy, because I think that's a really powerful thing, and I think a lot of people feel like they don't deserve certain things, happiness, good things. So when you said that,
for most of my life, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, for most of to reiterate what I said in my post fight press, this is the first time in my life where I'm treating myself like a person whose happiness I'm responsible for, and treating myself like a person who actually deserves to be happy. Most of my life, I haven't liked myself much. I've actually hated myself most of my life, and my internal dialogue has been incredibly hard on myself, and I think that helped me push. I think that served me for a time. I think that served me. It got me out of where I'm from. It got me farther than most of the people around me when I was growing up. A lot of people fell victim to things or fell into traps that I was able to avoid because I was hard on myself, because I didn't pat myself on the back or give myself any love. Nothing was ever enough. I had to push harder. And that served me for a time, but you can't force things, and you can't try to fit a square peg in a round hole. You gotta look at what actually serves you, and you gotta reassess that all the time. And you gotta be honest with yourself. You gotta really take a hard look at yourself and be critical, and figure out if the way you're doing things is working for you. And there's been a shift, man. Like, I have a lot more love for myself. And in turn, I have more love to give for other people, and I'm more compassionate. I'm more empathetic. I operate from this deeper well of kindness that I just didn't have for a long time, because it wasn't how I operated, and I thought that's how I had to be, because that's what had served me early in my career and early in my life. Um, and now I'm in a place where there's more love, more love for myself. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to treat myself with some kindness. I'm still tough on myself. I'm still hard. I don't believe in, over celebrating small victories. I don't believe in making excuses, or a lot of the shit that I see people do I still see a lot of weakness in people. I still see a lot of people making concessions and making compromises that they don't need to make, that they just pushed a little harder, the life would be better. I still believe in that, but I also know that it's okay to love yourself and to let yourself enjoy things, and to to be kind to yourself.
Do you feel like this is the missing ingredient now? Like now we're about to see you go on a run. We've been watching you. We've seen you grow up in front of our eyes. You were
Yeah.
the young scrappy alpha male kid who came in that everyone was speaking about, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster. I think you'd be the first to admit. But do you feel like now that
Yeah.
you feel this way about yourself, this is what you need or needed to go on a run?
I think that this has been a big missing part of it. And I think the other missing part is having fun. Um, when I was just a vicious little bastard and I was spitting blood and talking shit and fighting at native Indian casinos for $1,000 and having these wars and just being a monster, I was having fun. And I got to the UFC and everyone gave a shit about me until I lost to Max. And then the narrative changed and I went up and down for the past however many years. And people sort of wrote me off and I started treating this like a job and I started looking at what Mighty Mouse is doing and what Anderson Silva is doing. And I want to be one of the best ever. And I want to cement a legacy and I want to be in the Hall of Fame. And I got to do this and I got to be this type of way. And I started trying to force this thing. And then I came out this fight and I looked at my coach, Danny Castillo, who's, career and longevity in the sport is a testament to what an incredible fighter he is. He's like a big brother to me. He's guided me in so many ways. And I looked at him before we walked out to this fight. I looked him in his eye. I said, we've done this every other way. We've done this every other way. Tonight, we're having some fucking fun. That's the way we're doing it tonight. We're having some fucking fun. And I went out there and I had fun and I performed really well, in my opinion. And I'm back to having fun. And that's what I'm going to do from here on out. And you guys are going to see some special shit.
Wow. You just gave me chills there with the conversation with Danny. Jeez Louise. That is amazing stuff. It's amazing to hear you so happy. It's amazing to see that you're still enjoying it. You're still having fun. Was there a point where you felt like you weren't having fun in the sport? Like where to the point where you didn't want to fight anymore? Like it was just too much or it just wasn't?
Not too much or not wanting to fight anymore, really, because this is I fucking love to fight. I don't always love the process. Like I don't always love the fight week and the media and the pictures and the fucking talking and this stupid corny buildup that people want. I don't always love that shit, but I love to fight. I love the fist fight. I love to make my people proud. I love this fucking game so much. And it feels good to be having fun again. It's like, this is like my marriage or something. I've been doing this since I've been training in MMA some type of way. I've been on the mat since I was 11. I've been doing MMA since I was 14. I'm 32, man. Like this is my longest relationship, and it hasn't always been the healthiest. But it's like a marriage, man. And then now we're at a place where we're good. We worked through all our trauma, and now we get to like enjoy the shit. And it feels so good, man. I'm just so thankful for it, and I love this shit, man. And you guys have seen the best and worst moments of my life. Like I grew up in the UFC. Like I got there at 23 and I remember being 23. I remember actually being 22 and complaining and being incredibly depressed and borderline suicidal that I wasn't in the UFC yet. I would couldn't believe it. I was 11-1 or 12-1. I'd cleared out the whole West Coast region. I was going to go from 145 to 170 to fight Max Griffin for a local title at 170. I was doing whatever it took to try to get Dana and the UFC's attention. And I remember feeling too old at 22. I remember being 22 or 23 and being like, fuck, I'm not in the UFC yet. Like I'm losing too much time. And I remember feeling too old at 23 and now I'm 32 and I feel the best I've ever felt. It's like, it's just been this incredible journey, man. And I'm just saying, I'm so thankful for it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm thankful.
It's a beautiful thing. And we've seen you mature. Part of that maturation, I think you just referred to it earlier, doing stand-up, man, that is tough. I mean, you have a tough day job, but going up there, stand-up, no one helped you with that? Why did you do this? Is this something you've always wanted to do?
I just Adam Hunter, he said he was doing a comedy show on Fight Pass with fighters. And if I asked if I'd do it, I said, yeah, fuck it, whatever. It's something that I'm comfortable talking. I don't really get too nervous. Like I play shows or do stand-up comedy. You can put me in a room with however many people in a microphone, like I'll be all right, you know, and it doesn't matter. No one's going to kick you in the head. Like after fighting, what's that fight club quote? After fighting, everything gets the volume turned down. Like my heart rate barely gets up when I can talk in front of 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people. I don't, my voice, my heart rate doesn't even really get up. Like, and it was cool. Was it? Whatever, it's on Fight Pass. It's like, it's a comedy show with all fighters, and it was cool. It was fun. I didn't even have my full set written out. Like the day of, I finally like practiced it and made adjustments and had things written in my phone. And then I got on stage and I was expecting like a few people. It's like 300 people. They like packed the place. I've never done stand-up comedy in my fucking life. I'm supposed to have like a 5 to 7 minute set, and I have it written out on my phone, and I set the phone on the stool to like go back and check in case I get lost. And I just start talking, and I wake up like 11 minutes later and I've done my whole set, and I just riffed and it went smooth. And I got a lot of love, man. I got a lot of positive feedback for it. And it was a fun experience. You know, it was cool. That shit's fun to me, man. Like performing. I just love to perform. I love being on stage. I love whatever, making people laugh or making people jump with music, or just pouring energy out and sharing that with people, whether it's fighting or music or comedy or whatever.
Will you do it again?
Yeah, sure. I'll do it again. It's like, it was fun. I think maybe doing some I thought about doing some open mic nights and stand-up little stuff in around SAC and around home, and you know, making it a thing that I do. But I kind of want to keep it like not scary. I kind of want to keep it like this fun, like I don't want it to be a job. Like I think I might not do it again until there's a room full of people and it's being televised again. Like I think I want to keep it like, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to keep it
unique.
Special. Yeah, unique. Like, you know, I said my nerves don't really, my heart rate doesn't really get up, but if it's going to, it's got to be because it's like a special thing. You know, I don't want this to be, I don't want it to be, and I don't want this to sound like pretentious or whatever, but I don't want this to be like something I work at. Like I want it to be a fun thing that I just like.
Spontaneous
and like, okay, like here we go. Don't fuck this up. Like get in that zone right now. Like I want it to be a thing that puts me in that flow. And I don't want it to be a thing I have to think about or practice or schedule, or just want it to be spontaneous and fun. And I want to go out in 500. And I did it. I did stand up in front of 300 people. It's the only time I've ever done stand up. I got a bunch of laughs. I've gotten only positive feedback. Maybe people are lying to me. That's fine. Keep fucking lying to me. I love it. But next time I do it, I want to do it in front of 500 people, and I don't want to practice. And I don't want to make it a thing. I just want to go out and kill it and keep it a fun, little special, spontaneous thing.
I love it. By the way, you tweeted just a couple of days ago about Jose Aldo, and very significant because you're an alpha male guy. Not to say that you have to hate the guys who fought, you know, your guy, but I thought that was a really cool thing of you. And we're showing the tweet right now. Thank you, Jose Aldo. I've admired you for 2 decades. Even when you fought my teammates and brothers, you are a hero. Thank you for always inspiring me and so many others. The highest regards always. Why did he mean so much to you? Hero, that's a big term.
Yeah.
Why did he mean so much to you?
He's him. Like that's like, I was there. I watched him fight when he fought Faber. I was huddled around some shitty little TV with my friends. I think I was like end of high school, maybe 1 year out of high school, like maybe had a couple pro fights, and I was looking at Aldo like, you know, Faber's the man. Faber's a hero in Sacramento. Like he was a guy that I wanted to try. I wasn't even training with Faber yet. I don't think. Like he was a guy I wanted to train with, but Aldo was a guy that you watch and you're like, I want to do that. Like his double flying knee against Cub, like his leg kicks against Faber, his takedown defense, his everything he does, his hands, everything he threw was just, you watch it, it's art, man. And he was just such a he was such an inspiration. Like if you ask me my top 5 ever, he's in there. You
Wow.
know, like Nick Diaz, BJ Penn, Jose Aldo, Genki Sudo, Eve Edwards, probably. Like,
wow, what a list!
Just off the cup. Thank you. It's not bad. Those are all guys that like make me want to fucking fight and have fun and put on a show. And like, yeah, like he's in there. That the point of the story is like he's in there. You know,
Sure.
Aldo's on Rushmore for me. Like he's incredible. Like, and yeah, he fought a bunch of my teammates. I still think Chad won that second fight in Rio. I still think he won the fight. Like, I still don't like that he fucking tore up. You know, Faber at this point is somewhere between like an older brother and a fucking crazy uncle, like father figure. Like he's like, you know, Faber's family to me. Like I've spent Christmases at Faber's house, Thanksgiving at Faber's house. Like I love Faber. I don't love that fucking Aldo chopped his legs up for fucking 5 rounds. Like,
yeah.
But I love, but it's a beautiful performance. I love the guy, man. Like I love Jose Aldo because he always put on a show. He's never been in a boring fight. He always fought his ass off. He was always respectful. He just did so many things that I think sort of set this example for kids and kids coming up, like my generation of kids. You know, I don't think there's a guy who grew up fighting. It's my age. That's our size that wasn't inspired by Jose Aldo. And that's a real testament.
I loved what you wrote about him because you know you're a true fan of the sport if you appreciate someone like him because never spoke English, didn't like sell the fights, you know, the drama, all that stuff. So yeah. Especially considering your team.
And he came from humble beginnings, you know, and you got to root for a guy like that, you know. It's like I feel that. So making something out of nothing.
Amen. And you are doing that right now. So much respect, much love to you, Andre. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Congrats on the win. Congrats on everything you're doing. Congrats on, it seems like being in a great place mentally, physically. I hope you go on a freaking 20-fight winning streak now. You win the belt.
Come in, brother.
And
25.
Let's go and enjoy every step of the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Thanks.
All right, there he is, Andre Touchy Fili, one of my favorite guys to talk to.